And once again, stupid things are happening in our world. Yeah, I need to record some videos. I have a slight problem with college beginning next week, so yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, we got this here, and it just keeps getting worse. It just keeps getting more stupid. The more I spend on YouTube, the more I spend online, the stupider it gets. Penguinz0 is being cancelled by Hasan's community. Hey. Interesting. I don't know what Charlie said. To be fair, again, Charlie has common sense. These people do not. Anyways, also, if you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. It's a huge help. Every little contribution helps a ton. Thank you so much. Also, need to like that. Thank you. Yeah, let's jump in. Let's listen. Let's hear it.
As terrible as the whole Hasan dog situation has been.
Oh yeah, by the way, that man has abused his dog. And it doesn't even matter. Whether the argument, like, it's not a shock collar, it's a vibration collar. Whether it is a shock collar or vibration collar, whatever it is, the reaction of the dog says more than 1,000 words could, than any words of him could. And also, the fact that he forces his dog to be an asset for his background is animal abuse to me. You do not force an animal to stay in the background, so you have a prop in the background, so people like, oh, he has a dog, he must be a good person then. Fuck you. It's a dog, not a toy. If your dog, how could you not allow your dog to roam the house? And if you can't allow your dog to roam the house, then you're just a shitty, you're just a shitty trainer. You're just bad at training your dog.
Hasan's fan base getting mad at Charlie for...
Sorry, getting riled up. I have a dog. I love my dog. I love dogs in general. I've had dogs as long as I can remember. So, of course, I'm upset.
Covering this is at least something amusing to come from this whole thing, as that's exactly what we have going on right now. For example, on Penguinz0 subreddit, Charlie, please speak to Ludwig. He'll vouch for Hasan. Make a new video apologizing for spreading misinfo and end this drama before it harms his reputation. And shortly after that post was made, a bunch of
Hasan's reputation is not harmed? Okay. What is the schizo?
defenders from Hasan subreddit actually came to Charlie subreddit trying to brigade it with damage control. We'll go over all that in more detail a bit later. For now, let's hop over to Hasan Piker subreddit. This is one of the top posts on there for today with over 700 upvotes titled "Pretty Disappointing Video from Charlie." The OP writing really felt like someone with no understanding of Hasan or the situation giving baseless accusations.
Baseless? It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter if it's a shock collar or not. The reaction of the dog was fear or pain, one of the two. And forcing an animal to stick in the background as some kind of background asset or something to look pretty, I am sorry. Also, I think people digged out multiple other clips of him abusing the dog. For example, the collar is also too what's the word? Too tight. That's another thing. Why does he even have a collar? That's in the first place. Or she. It's a girl, I think. Yeah, it's a girl. Why does she even have a collar? All it just tells me is you can't train your dog. Incompetence.
And what are these so-called baseless accusations? Well, after Hasan seemingly shocked his dog Kaya, Charlie said this.
Now, for the life of me, like...
Also, I think people were looking up the model of the collar, and it appears to actually be a shock collar. XQC said it. Some other people on Twitter just looked at the exact model and tried to find which one it was, and it appears to actually be a shock collar.
I cannot understand what he's even upset about in the first place, that he starts, like, scolding the dog for. She moved, like, an inch, like, slightly off of that. It's like in a video game, like in Metal Gear.
Yeah, and then still, even if it's not a shock, look at this. It's still animal. No matter how much you twist it, even if it's not a shock collar. But for some magical reason, it's not a shock collar. It is still animal abuse. It is still animal abuse. I don't care what anybody says.
Solid when someone gets like a question mark over their head, they're like zipping to you immediately. Like, she doesn't do anything really other than move slightly, and he is noticeably upset.
And by the way, yeah, I'm assuming everyone watching this video is already familiar with the whole Hasan incident from yesterday, as well as like all the contextual stuff that he had done in the past that also looks really bad for how
He also appears to be right after she yelps, essentially after she makes a sound, right? He's like seemingly like, how do you get that? The reaction is, oh fuck, whoops. I didn't expect her to make a sound. Which which also appears to be the case. It appears that he was visibly confused why she now made a sound. I don't know how to surprised. Surprised is the word. He was surprised that the dog would make a sound.
he treats Kaya and his other dog, Fish, rest in peace. I'm referring to the resurface clip that allegedly depicts Hasan.
And remember, that's what we see on stream. What happens if the camera's off?
On pulling Fish's tail. And now back to Hasan's subreddit. One of Hasan's top 1% posters over here says, in response to Charlie covering the situation, disappointing is an understatement. Bro just single-handedly assured this will go on for days, if not weeks longer, and all the normies will be saying Hasan abuses Kaya as well. The problem with taking...
He does. He does. He does. He very much does. He does. Even then, it is still a collar. She's wearing a collar, and it is beeping, so there must be something. Excuse me, but it's not beeping, but it's like lighting up, right? It has LEDs. It lights up when he pushes the button. I am sorry. Also, I'm sorry. You are a piece of shit. If you, in general, you need a collar. That is on you, then. My family had dogs for as long as I can remember. I've grown up with dogs. I have my own dog. I have my own dog now. I'm sorry. There is nothing you can do to excuse this.
In a middle-of-the-road sort of neutral take when something is just wrong, is that it will embolden all the people lying into thinking they're not crazy. They honestly believe that Hasan has any need to use a shock collar on Kaya, when for years we have seen her grow up and learn to follow commands with no big red button or remote in sight.
Oh. No, what? You've never seen a remote? Could it be that he doesn't want you to know that he has a remote? Could it be? No, he would never do that. What kind of the mental gymnastics that these people make, that these people do to excuse this type of behavior is horrible. I hope none of these people ever have a pet, ever. Whether it's a dog, cat, bird, fish, whatever. These people do not deserve animals. They are the animals.
It's pretty crazy how this person refers to something that's just wrong, and they're not referring to what seems to be the abuse of Kaya. No, what's wrong is criticizing Hasan for this. And as so many people have pointed out, the problem is not even just the whole alleged shock collar thing. It's how he forces Kaya to sit for hours and hours and hours in the back of his stream, and then if she so much as dares move to stretch or whatever, he seems to get mad at her. Hasan's defenders continue to rage about Charlie covering this. Other top comments reading, actually never thought I'd on sub from Charlie, but rip bozo, see ya never. I can't believe this is the thing that Charlie is breaking his internet drama fast on. Don't really care. He lost me with how lazy that opinion was.
Oh no, what a terrible thing. Oh no, he's gonna be so sad that the animal abuse apologist is gone. Oh no. Everyone's gonna be so sad. Dude. Again, the mental gymnastics. It's everything. Even if it's not a shock collar, the reaction of the dog is still concerning. Even if he doesn't shock her, why is he forcing her for hours upon hours to lay on that place in the same corner? She's not allowed to move. She's not allowed to roam the house. She's not allowed to be a dog. She's essentially just a prop that you put in the background so it looks pretty. I'm sorry, that's still, to me, that is still animal abuse. As somebody who has had dogs for his entire life, that is abuse. I'm sorry. My dog is not in the same place the entire day. She can move around. Like, I can leave her outside in the garden and nothing happens. And she's not a small dog. She's a Central Asian Shepherd, so she is a big dog, a somewhat independent dog.
Oh yeah, guys, because, you know, doing terrible things to animals, that's just internet drama. And having an opinion that criticizes disgusting actions like that, well, that's just a
Remember, being a sociopath starts with animals. That's all I'm gonna say.
lazy opinion. Bro, how are these people real? Speaking of that, it looks like now we've got Hasan's latest excuse. He's blaming the whole dog situation on Israel. Had posted a story here that says she has no idea she's been the most famous dog on the internet for the past 2 days because of a coordinated far-right / pro-Israel slander campaign.
Hasan abuses dog. The far right pro-Israel people are at fault. Interesting. You know what this sounds like? Men die in war, women most affected. That's exactly what it sounds like.
You gotta love the far-right excuse, too. I mean, this is so common from people like this. Oh, something I dislike, something that's criticizing me, it must be far-right extremism. You know, it's funny that 11 hours ago,
The only political opinion that I can get from Charlie is that the common sense appears to be not all that common.
Hasan posted a video trying to make excuses for this whole thing by saying you were lied to. I don't think Bro's talking about himself being the liar, but he should be. Now here's something crazy. In that video, Hasan goes on to in part address the time-lapse video showing Kaya just being forced to sit there for hours on end, and a chatter says that, like, if you can just even go back one VOD before the last stream, you'll see that she's roaming free for plenty of the stream. And so I went to take a look, and I instantly found the opposite of that. What I actually found was Hasan once again getting upset at Kaya for having the audacity to stand up.
You only go one VOD back and Kaya roams the entire VOD amount. I know, but it doesn't matter, right? Because if you are in here for an extended period of time, you already know this.
So yeah, like I said, I went to check that out for myself, and here's what I found.
On your Twitch when the race was on, don't know what you saw. I couldn't really check because it was too chaotic, but basically it was great. Like, it was a lot better. It was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. I thought we were gonna have like 100 people watching because it's like the exact opposite time. Kaya down.
She isn't doing anything. Look at that poor baby. She isn't doing anything. She is not doing anything. She's doing nothing.
It was the exact opposite time that I normally stream at.
But of course, the rage towards
She is doing literally nothing. She's doing nothing. She's actually doing nothing.
Charlie from Hasan's community would continue. For example, another top comment reading, "So depressing. So many moments where she is walking around and Charlie acts like this doesn't happen because no one was saying so. Definitely doesn't happen. Like, bro, just watch any of his streams, please." Well, like I just did, I hopped one of his other streams and instantly saw Hasan getting mad at Kaya for standing up. Continuing with
Not
this,
even standing. She was just sitting. She was not even she was sitting. She was sitting and looking at him. She was sitting and looking at him.
comment though. In my opinion, the reason why he is mad at her moving is probably because there's something happening in his house, and Kaya is constantly wanting to see and mess around. I say this because... Okay, now hold on a second. This is like instantly a contradiction. She's always free to move around in the streams. You can see it whenever, and then instantly goes on to like talk about why he gets mad at her for moving around. Like, what are these people even doing? They're not even making sense anymore. This is just pathetic. Continuing though, they say, "I say this because I saw this behavior before, where she wanted to go outside, there was something happening, and he was constantly saying, no, stay there, don't go. Because this whole argument doesn't make any sense when literally 2 days before the polemic stream, she was walking around, normally around him, and he wasn't even reacting to her. Not only on this random day, but almost every stream. I guess bro got really scared by the numbers this did. The frustration obviously is because the insane stalkers now will pretend to care just to dunk on this opportunity." I have no idea what that's even referring to. This person sounds crazy. The fact that Charlie only go to his friends and what is online.
I do not care if it's Hasan. I don't care if it would be Hira. I don't care if it would be anybody else. If I see dog abuse, I'm gonna call it dog abuse. Animal abuse. I do not care if you abuse. If you treat your dog like that, to me, that is abuse. Whether you, no matter how you want to change it. I know. First of all, these people are absolutely right. They're living and breathing propaganda. But also, see, we have stronger animal laws here, right? I'm German, so obviously, when I see things like this, I'm gonna call it abuse.
Instead of, I don't know, asking Hasan directly is so freaking frustrating. Yeah, Hasan is this master manipulator that hides his shock collar when friends go to his house and put it back when they leave. Come on, man. I guess we're back to...
Or the friends are just as shitty and don't care. Have you ever considered that? Anyways.
Buy a house, bad Hasan. I'm so done. And a response saying, socialism means you can't have dog. Are these people just like experts in...
Isn't he Muslim, if I remember correctly? Aren't they saying dogs are dirty?
Misrepresenting arguments, because this is just one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen. We can see that same user who just made that wall of text excuse in this comment exchange, where it begins with this other user saying, disappointing. What exactly do you expect from this moron? Referring to Charlie as the moron, of course. Guess I'm still, here's the OP, guess I'm still coping from when they played basketball together. And then that wall of text person goes on to say he could literally ask Hasan directly and explain in the video. Numbers really scary, this man, and that's crazy. What's crazy is this commenter. I mean, multiple times now this person just sounds extraordinarily unhinged. Like they're just making an excuse for someone who seems to be treating...
Please don't let these people get animals. Please don't get these people get pets. Keep them away from pets, children, everything.
Animals very poorly, and that's even me putting it nicely. Much worse things could be said about this all. And there's so many comments like this, too. This is 100% Charlie giving chum to the Sharks after speaking out against the IDF. It's really telling how Hasan and his...
Oh, no, Bint. Oh, no, Bint. Oh, God. Horrible.
Defenders just can't conceive that people dislike seeing animals suffering. And they have to try and somehow link this all to politics, Palestine, Israel, socialism, the far right, etc., etc.
Let me check that. What did Bint say? She clips her paw. Clips her paw. It's very obvious you're willfully dumber than a dog if you choose to believe this and care more about imagining the suffering of a single animal than millions of Palestinians. Yeah. You know what this sounds like? Somebody making a post about somebody that is reported them dying, and some retard in the comments is like saying free Palestine. Okay. Can we not talk about anything else about Palestine? Interesting. Yeah, very, very interesting. Can we not talk about anything else? When somebody dies, we could be like, oh yeah, I don't care. Think about the millions in Palestine die. Though, to be fair, there are millions dying.
Palestine, Israel, socialism, the far right, etc., etc. They really do just sound like mindless drones that follow what Hasan says without any thought of their own. And I'm, of course, referring to the recent story that...
Lights on, but nobody's home.
That we went over a moment ago, where Hasan himself is blaming all of this backlash on Israel and the far right. Speaking of that post on Charlie's subreddit, well, moments ago, the post was actually locked by one of Charlie's mods, who says, super sorry, but I'm locking the comments. We're being brigaded right now. I had to lock the other Hasan post for the same reason. And it does look like Hasan's defenders are actually brigading Charlie's subreddit in a desperate attempt at damage control. For example, one of Hasan's defenders here got downvoted by the usuals over on Charlie's subreddit, but you can see they attempted the damage control of saying, I wouldn't be surprised if Israel were jumping on this opportunity to try and deplatform one of their largest critics. But I don't think it's manufactured by Israel. They just jumping on a golden opportunity for them. ETA, it would be extremely disappointing if we talked about a streamer's freaking dog instead of what's happening in Palestine for a week, though. Not saying that shocking your dog isn't bad, but genocide is worse. Another...
Oh, sure. Then we should not but talk about anything that isn't worse than genocide, right? Yo, there are more and more women getting raped in European countries, but it doesn't matter because Palestine. What else? There is 19,000 churches have been burned in Nigeria, Christian churches, but it doesn't matter. Let's talk about Palestine. You know what's worse? Ha! I got something. I will not talk about Palestine. Nobody should talk about Palestine until people aren't starving in the world. Until everybody has a roof on. You know what? Worse is than dying? Slowly starving. Same. You get the idea. You get the idea what I'm doing. When we say, oh, but something else, we cannot talk about this, or we don't have to talk about this because something else is happening that's worse. You know what we're doing? We are actively diminishing suffering because of that stupid idea of like, you can't talk about this right now because somewhere else is something worse. I hate this idea. Oh, you're depressed? Oh, shut up. Other people have it worse. Like, shut the fuck up. If I want to talk about his dog, I'm going to talk about his dog, that he's abusing his dog. I don't care.
Brigader saying this whole thing is manufactured. They took a meaningless clip and turned it into rage bait. And then also saying that the whole thing is just made up, to which people of course call them out for their immense cope. DOP also mentioning the video that's been resurfaced of Hasan allegedly pulling his old dog Fish by the tail.
Yeah, there have been some clips resurfacing, and the funny part is, they're from like 6 years or longer ago, which means that this is before AI, so it cannot be fake because it was uploaded way before that. Boom. Interesting.
This is a clip that his defenders don't seem to be addressing at all. They're really trying to just not talk about that one. For anyone not familiar with the tail pulling clip that's been resurfaced, like I said yesterday in my coverage, I'm not going to play this. It is too disturbing to play. But here's where you can find it. It's on YouTube. You can search it right
6 years ago. That has nothing to do with AI. We know it. So they can't even pull that excuse.
there. Another reason that Hasan's defenders are so upset with Charlie is that he directly called out their ridiculous excuse from the other day where they attempted to say that, oh, Kaya just scraped her dew claw. That's what happened, which, as I went over in my coverage yesterday, in my opinion, made absolutely no sense given the positioning and all the context around what happened here. To which Charlie also pointed out that exact excuse was also, in his opinion, absurd. Specifically saying that he watched the clip 15 times and that every person and person online outside of Hasan and his community are saying the same thing. That we all don't think the whole dew claw thing is what made Kaya yelp. That her dew claw doesn't seem to actually get caught or snagged on anything. It's a ridiculous excuse.
It is a sensitive area. That is true. If you've ever cut your dog's nails, or if you've ever taken your dog to like a dog salon or something and they like gave your dog a nail trim, you probably noticed that when it comes to the dew claw, they're very, defensive on it, like cautious, because it is such a tender spot. I have watched...
Yep, that is true. That's why I hate trimming dog nails. I hate it.
This clip like fucking 10 or 15 times now. And today I had some friends come in from out of town, so obviously I've been out most of the day at the farm, and this was actually a conversational topic. It's become so big that it was brought up by them. And every single person, and pretty much everyone I've seen online outside of Hasan and Hasan's community, is all saying the same thing. That yes, it looks like the dog does like touch its leg to that spot on the bed, but it doesn't look like it gets caught or anything. So it feels very unlikely that that is what caused the dog to scream in pain. Like, I don't think that's what made Kaya, that's her name, yelp. It doesn't seem to get caught or snagged on anything, and dew claws aren't so sensitive and so tender that even touching them would cause like a panicked scream or anything. Unless she has an injury there, but I don't think Hasan has mentioned that, at least not that I've seen. So it feels to me very unlikely that that's what caused it, based on everything that we can see.
Of course, Hasan's defenders don't like anyone actually analyzing the situation and not believing the excuses that they've been trying to put out, as Charlie's video also got responses from Hasan's community, such as just parroting fake BS, screw Charlie, and
again, it doesn't matter. These people just got filtered. Who cares? You wouldn't want these people anyways there. If they apologize, if they essentially say animal abuse doesn't matter, they think about they would ignore much worse. It doesn't matter.
Unsubscribed. It's just so gross that he put up that video. He can shove the fence sitting up his And that comment ends there. Of course, this was ultimately a small sample of the numerous angry people defending Hasan and getting mad at Charlie for covering this in a way that wasn't just believing all the lies that these people have been trying to put out, their damage control, so to speak. But I'm sure you get the point, so I'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed my coverage, again, despite how disgusting this whole situation really.
Look at this poor baby. Yeah, my opinion's very simple. This man is lying. His people are lying. He's a weirdo. I hate people that abuse animals. Rip Bozo, get torn apart on the internet. I do not care. And if people unsubscribe, they unsubscribe. It's just a filter at this point. Who cares? Anyways, if you have a pet, give them snackies. Give them as many snackies as you can. Treat them well. Unlike Hasan, unlike his community. Anyways, thank you for watching. Take care.